everyone, BX257 here again with another vintage G.I. Joe toy review, and today I'll be taking a look at the 1985 Mountain Trooper known as Alpine. I've bumped this figure up to the top of the list because this figure has actually been on my mind for the past couple of days, ever since a viewer, Baylor Joe, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, actually gave me a tip on how to properly place some of his accessories on his backpack. About the file card, Larry Hama wrote all these file cards, and sometimes he was very clever with how he did the actual real characters' names. However, Alpine's real name is Albert M. Pine, or Al Pine, literally. It seems to have kind of phoned that one in. No offense to that great comic writer. Another thing which took me a while to quite figure out was, on the bottom it says here, he's symbolically climbing out of the quagmire of his past, which seems like he had a really bad childhood or something, but the rest of the file card doesn't implicitly say that. I believe what he means is that a lot of, well, at least in Larry Hama's opinion, or so it seems to me by reading other of his works and other of his file cards, it seems to me he thinks that a lot of Army soldiers actually enlist in the Army just to get away from their hometown. And he obviously, a lot of the characters that he created in G.I. Joe seem to have done that as well. And I believe that's what really the quagmire of his past really means, is that he just grew up in a small town and just felt just sort of, I don't know, claustrophobic or something. I just wish that was a little more specific. Alpine came with a ton of accessories, including a mountain pack, his climbing axe, a GRB-88 grappling launch line, which is a modification of Snow Job's XMLR-3A rifle, grappling hooks. It's actually a pair of hooks attached to a 1-foot string, and finally a Beretta SMG-12. And yes, I did say Beretta, not Beretta, because it says Beretta right here on the contents list. Copyright infringement is not cool, folks. Alpine is a well-sculpted and well-detailed figure with a lot of really nice paint apps. He even has 2 little silver carabiners on his pant leg here, which is a really nice little touch. His main weapon is a submachine gun, which I think is a pretty bad choice for a mountain trooper. Submachine guns tend to be a bit jumpy and not controllable, especially if you're hanging from a rope with one hand and firing something like this with the other. Of course, that's just the gun nerd in me talking. And now the part you've all been waiting for is how to put all of his accessories onto his backpack. The card obviously has no instructions whatsoever. They didn't start, putting instructions in until like 1990. Of course, there's this sort of slot at the back, which most people just put the grapple launch line on here, and there's this peg here, which you just sort of slip the climbing axe into. As you can see, it's rather loose. Baylor Joe, however, has solved both of these problems. If you take the launch line, which admittedly you can wrap around the figure if you want, but it's probably best if you just go like this. Put it in between that, put the string in between that slot, and just sort of line everything up here, and just sort of wrap things around here, within here, just maybe just once or twice. I'm just going to do it once here, and wrap the rest of it around the side pouches. I'll have to admit, while Baylor Joe explained this to me in text, it was rather hard to visualize how something just wrapped around just like this was going to hold. But remarkably, it's not only is it very steady, but it's actually very intuitive to take it off even when it's on here. Nothing is knotted up or anything here. You put the climbing axe in there, and it holds actually rather a little bit more stiffly. If you do it more than once, it's even stiffer than that. So it won't climb all the way down. And again, with the extra string in there, this thing is rather stiff and more secure in there as well. So boom, there you go. Well, that's all the time I have right now. Please check out my Facebook page for more information and behind-the-scenes photos for these reviews. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for next time to see another 1980s G.I. Joe toy review. See you then!